Right, today's the 27th of January 2026. Crazy global market talk with Cal. Crazy anytime, anywhere. Now, today, a big day, very important day. Today, we have a lot of technical chart to go through, a lot of fundamental to watch out for. Because it's going to be a big devastation if this actually really happens. So, traders, please stand by and listen to me. Very important. But before that, disclaimer apply as usual. Please do your risk management accordingly. All right. Okay, let's look at the fundamental first. Very big fundamental. Yeah. Now, the first thing that drives the market today is the dollar. Okay, dollar has continued to fall, as you can see. Dollar has continued to fall, all right, and it has seen closer to my 96.50 level. Okay, it's getting very close to that level, and I think that we may be able to see it in the very near term. I'll explain to you why shortly. Okay, now of course, if the dollar hit this 96.50 level, based on the past chart, you can see every time when this happened, the market actually has a very incredible support here at 96.50. Okay, so we know that if the dollar is to go up, the gold price will come down. So let's say now we're looking at this, we are now just 50 basis point away from 96.50. So which means that if the dollar do come down, okay, further gold price may go even higher, right? That's the first wave. And then if we hit 96.50, that's where the market may find a support and bring back gold coming down, because if the dollar recover, the gold comes off. All right, so this is going to be a big trade here. So watching this very closely. Now, the one that everybody is really very concerned is the yen. Now, the dollar against the yen. Now, the yen has been climbing. Now, look at the yen. Okay, let me take a look. Yeah. Now, look at this. Is the dollar yen chart. All right, look at dollar yen from 140 all the way to 157. Very high level. We are back to the same level that we had before, and that created a double top at the moment, and that basically pulls the market back. Okay, so the thing is this. Okay, there is a ongoing murmuring says that the US is going to intervene and help the Japanese yen. And if the Japanese yen, the Japanese US security company itself that help the Japanese yen, then a few things may have a repercussion on this. So later on, I will share this with you. Yeah, it's going to be a very important day for understanding. Now let's look at the stock market first. Last night, the S&P 500 continued to trade higher as Meta and Apple rise ahead of their earnings report. Now, Meta and Apple is going to have their earnings. I believe Meta will not be bad. Apple, I have my concern. I don't think Apple will have the same type of earnings as compared. All right, I can be wrong. Okay, so they were going to have their reports later this week. Now, Donald Trump again on the weekend threatened to slap 100% tariff on the goods coming from US from Canada if the country Canada makes a trade deal with them. All right, so thing is this, in short, US doesn't want Canada to work with China. If China works or Canada works with China, then Donald Trump is going to put 100% tariff. Okay, basically it's like going through Canada to sell to the US, right? So interestingly, the Canada Minister Mark Cheney came in and said that Ottawa has no intention, okay, to pursuing a free trade deal with Beijing. Interesting. All right, so basically that is ongoing right now and always about tariff and blah, blah, blah. And of course, yesterday I talked about the Minnesota, this fatal shooting has created more problem now, because now there is an ongoing, what do you call, people getting unrest on this. They're going to basically want a potential government shutdown again. This time now, the Democratic senator said they will not approve the $1.2 trillion funding package if that includes a allotment for homeland security. Basically, in short itself, right, they don't want this homeland security people to be running the street and guarding the street, because we have seen what happened recently, right? So whether it is like just to leverage on this or not, we're not too sure. But to have another shutdown again, that will hit the stock market once again. Yeah, so take note of that. Okay, so basically now, it's all about earnings this week. Everybody's watching the earnings. I don't think the earnings will be very fantastic. So traders, you need to be very careful on that. Yeah. Okay, so that is the stock market side. Let's take a look global market. Hyundai shares fell as Trump says the tariff on South Korea pharmaceutical to rise by 25%. So basically, Donald Trump's going trigger happy, right? really going trigger happy. Yeah, basically doing all this sort of little game, and I think you can make so much money on there. You short the market first, then you put a tariff on it, then you take it out again. You sell, you make, you buy, you make. My goodness. All right, there's no fundamental here. And basically that is the one. Um, okay, nothing much for the big one except for what I just said earlier. Okay, let's go to the major fundamentals. Okay, now basically the thing is this: there's a lot of grapevines now say that the dollar will crash because of the yen intervention. So basically, the market now expecting the U.S. government to consider to benefit to basically help the Japanese side to weaken the U.S. dollar. So that basically will bring the export higher. But because of that itself, inflation is going through the roof, and that's something that people doesn't like at all. Yeah. Now the thing is this: we are also seeing that now the large majority of the investors doesn't want to take any form of protection against the fall of equity, meaning they rather just fully invest in the market because they don't think the stock market is going to fall in the near term. So they do not take any form of protection in terms of like buying any CDO, any downward put or stuff like that. They don't really do that. Yeah. And of course, we all know that this is going to be important, the one next one coming in. There's a very interesting thing is that whenever there is an intervention by the market on the yen, we do see the Bitcoin coming off a little bit. So whether do you believe it or not it's going to happen, I'll cover the story later with the Bitcoin chart. And the thing is this, that is where if you follow this Twitter or X, you'll see all this article on why the US will most likely to intervene, and we can see the market already has the sell off in 300 pips in a short term of time. And of course, the beta of between the gold and S&P, you will notice that now the market has breached an important pivotal point. And the last time we saw something like this was in 1929, and also after that 1969, and to that 1999. So are we seeing it right now? No, it's all possible. We can see that the technical level has been breached. Yeah. And of course, the Dow Jones to gold, the ratio now is at a very high level and is breaking down. Happened 1929, 1973, 2008, and of course now 2026. So again, guys, you're going to read all this article, you can read it on your own. So go to my Twitter or x.com, search for crazy.com. You can add me and you can look at all those articles. Okay. All right, so that is the important messages, which means that the market is going to go into a craziness this week. So traders, you need to peel your eyes onto the market. That's very, very important. Okay, now the first thing I want to share today is gold. Why gold? Okay, so first of all, we know the gold is very bullish. Okay, we all know that it's very clear to the naked eye. And we know the boys are buying. Okay, good. So what's there to worry about? Okay, the only thing to worry is that today is a DJDD. Now, DJDD has a very important and powerful position. Okay, basically 90% of the time, you'll see the market going up first, then it crash. All right, or the other way around, go down first, then it rally. So this is about 90% of the time where the market will do the initial movement first before going for the opposite movement. Okay, so that's part one. Now, part two, the 10% is where the market go all the way to the sky or all the way to the ground. That's about 10%. Okay, so now the question is this: how many of you thinks that the gold will go all the way up? Text UP, up. If you think that the gold is going to come down later, key the word down, DOWN. All right, please key in the comment box right now. Okay, so we can see that, wow, it's a unanimous comment. Most, if not all of you are looking at up. Hope Joseph say down. Okay, okay. All right, now I'm going to be very upfront here itself. Okay, buy right, as long as above OP is an up market. Yeah, buy right is an up market. Okay, this one without a doubt it should be like that. The only thing is this, because it's a DJDD, and we know the market has been going up a lot recently, and the sentimental reason, the sentiment reason is very, very bullish right now, very bullish. So it's very normal to see people on buy. Okay, so take note, yeah, the OP is here, the MLP is here, The pivot 2 is here. So these three add together. Now, above OP, above MLP is a definite buy. So this morning it went up. Okay, settle. But the problem is the pivot 2, 5110, is actually hinging there, 5110. And you can see that yesterday's high, come on, hold on. Yesterday high was 5111. Okay, so basically yesterday high was 5111. Today's pivot to 5110. So the market is about very near the same so-called resistance or high level. So this morning the high went up to a 50. Let me take a look. Today's high is about 5075, and then the market pulls back, right? So the thing is this: if the market continue to go higher, the market most likely will challenge the pivot. So for those who want to buy gold, you should aim your TP at 5110 and hope that it hits that. Okay. So that is for people who wants to buy. All right. Now for people who want to sell, then the next thing is this: you can look forward now, is that if the market go to KTR 1, 2, 3, especially KTR plus 3, that is where you're looking for a potential sell signal if you can take some professional risk. Usually this is done by the elite traders of CRAZII. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is this. Now take this all away. Let's do the maths. Now the opening price is 5011. All right. The day high now assume is 5075 at the moment. So the difference between them is about 64, right? Okay. So let's do the mathematics here. Takes the opening price, which is 5011 minus 64, you get 4947. Okay. 4947. Let's put it in first, yeah? Okay, let's do it in 4947. Okay, I'll leave it there. Now, do you notice that? Yes, if you does it, you will understand what I'm trying to say next. Yeah. Now, if the gold stay up, no problem. 5110 target, we already said earlier. But if gold do pullback and break OP, it will definitely have to find support at MLP. Now, if MLP also break, and because of the DD, then there's a very high chance the market will cover the gap and the KCB. Now the KCB over here is actually at the KCB is 4937. 4937. So that is the KCB, right? So the technical level I just mentioned, 4947, is what you calculated using the high opening price of today to the highest point. Assume 5075 is the highest. Of course, if the market goes higher than 5075, the number will change again. Yeah. So let's assume that it's now 5075, 64 points. If the market pulls back, it will come down at least 64 points. So that's why upside wise, we can say still firmly at 5110. That is a pivot one. And the downside that's going to happen is 4947. Okay, clear? So that is how I see this gold chart today. But now it's still favoring the upside because you can see it's really like $50 away from the opening price. So it's kind of difficult for the market to come down. Yeah, but at least now we know if the market choose to come down, then what are the levels you can use for a doji directional day. Okay, so gold is still firming up at the moment. So don't need to panic, don't need to worry, just trade as per normal. Okay, let's revise through what we have talked about today. And because of the intervention from the dollar, I expect the gold price to come down. It's difficult because the dollar goes down, the gold will go up. So we all know that it's going to be difficult for the gold to come down unless the intervention doesn't come at all. Okay, so my personal thing is this. Usually they tell you that the intervention on Friday, normally it won't come. And it will come on a day whereby people least expected, likely a Monday or Tuesday. This is how I feel. Experience-wise tells me that, yeah? Okay, so this morning, once the gold opened, you can see immediately the gold shoot up. KTR plus 1 was given. And if you look carefully, the market closed above KTR plus 1. The market, all the long candles, the tail all closed above KTR plus 1. So it's a very clear cut that the market go of KTR plus 2. And at plus 2, you look at the closing, it's exactly at the closing. So that means the plus 2 is recognized. After that, it did close above plus 2. So by right, you should see going on to plus 3. But obviously, it didn't. All right. If you take the middle ground, you take the KTR plus 3 and plus 2 add together, the middle is exactly here. That's why the market stopped there. Interesting. And then after that, the price comes down all the way comes very near to OP. Now, that was where I was waiting to buy if the market hit OP, but it didn't. But the KCX was there. So remember, above OP, KCX is very good to use. Above OP, green to red, the next buy will be here or here, depending which one you're using, the 1 minute chart or the 5 minute chart. So if you buy, congratulations, you win a KTR plus 3. Now, what you see there is exactly stopping at exactly KTR plus 3. No more, no less, exactly. All right, this is how powerful is our system. Okay, so now we have done the revision. What's next, right? The forecast. Okay, let's take a look now. Okay, so basically, in short, if the gold price can break above KTR plus 3, that means the market is having additional non-normal market situation. That means big boys like the care banks are all buying. Then yes, they may push it up to 5110 to burn literally all the short sellers. But on the same side, if the market really cannot take it due to whatever reason, resistance in the market, they start to come off, then the first target it will go will be OP. And then after that, you'll go for the MLP. And once it's done, it go down for the next target level that I mentioned again. All right, based on that, and that is how I see gold going today. Now, of course, you will say, Kel, isn't that no point? You give an upside view, a downside view. No, if you look carefully, my upside view, I only draw to 5110. My downside view, I draw all the way down to 4971. So the big difference here as well. So some of you, if you are in the elite program, you know what to do with KTR plus 3. Yeah, so then consider and think what to do. Okay. All right, so that is the goal forecast. I'm gonna write it down for myself, just for my own safekeeping. Okay, done. Okay, so that is goal. Now let's look at the US market now, the US Dow Jones. Let's take a look. Now, US Dow Jones, we have a zebra. Yes, zebra. Red, yellow is a zebra, right? Zebra. Okay, it's an animal. Basically means that it's going to be a very big movement coming in for the Dow. It's going to be either going to see 50,000, okay, in the long run, or you're going to see 47,700 in the short term. All right, so this is something that, crazy, because to see Dow hitting 50,000 is like, wow, big number. And imagine this about 10 years ago, there's a guy who wrote a book, Dow 50,000. Everyone was laughing at him, and now today it has really happened, yeah, or coming soon. Okay, so the thing is this: what to do now? Today is a very clear project. The market opens above pivot 1. It's a classic buy signal. So above OP, above pivot 1 is definitely a buy. Okay, but if the market breaks below OP, then the first support it will be at a pivot 1, because it's very heavily supported by the MLP and also by the MA30. So which means that the MLP for today and the MA30 are actually stacked together. So this will become a very strong supporting ground. Now, if the market stays supported, no problem. The market can rebound. But if the market breaks support, then we have a problem. By the moment now, the KSI has been green at the moment. So there's no really panic for the sell side or the buy side at the moment. So you can take your time to look to buy if you want to. All right, there's no technical level for you. It's all being blocked according to my KCB. So in short, if you want to take some profit, you can use a high of the previous day. That's a formal guide for all this. All right, the formal high itself is somewhere around 49, 47.2. Next one, 49, 600. Yeah, pretty good levels. Okay, so that is the Dow Jones. Now let's look at the one that we talked about, the Bitcoin earlier. I mentioned if there's going to be any form of intervention based on past history, the Bitcoin will suffer. And did it happen? Well, before it happened, it already suffered. So Bitcoin started to trade down since here at 94,000. And ever since then, it's been going down all the way until today. We are at 86,000. So there's a lot of 10%. It's not good for the big family. And then what happened? The market recovered, all right, recovered. And now it's trading above OP and above pivot 1. So isn't that a buying signal? Yes, but the only thing is this: the color is red color, the KSI is red, the KCX is blue. So your sizing, you just need to reduce them a little bit before buying heavily into Bitcoin. But if you ask me itself, right, I rather don't buy Bitcoin. I think that the whole thing looks pretty bad. And if Bitcoin do break below OP, it will break below pivot 1. I think it'll be a free fall all the way to 85,233. Okay, So upside wise, I think the Bitcoin can challenge 89,000 on having some issue here. Okay, the first KCB here itself is 89,379. The next target as high will be 92,000. Yeah, 92,000. Let me just write it down properly. The next target it can go will be 92,996 if you can break the MA30 along the way. All right, so upside wise, we know it can go to 92,000. Downside wise is 85,000. But with the KSI and KCX and the fundamental, I think most likely Bitcoin should be able to see 85,000 level there for this week. So traders, again, be very careful. I know there are a lot of traders now trying to buy the bottom. As long above OP rule, you can buy. But once you hit something technical point, you need to be very, very careful, okay? Now we have some time. Let's look at the next market, which is the NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ has been climbing very strongly. We have a strong BNB here on the tip. It's a very strong BNB. That means that going to propel this at this higher again. So this is what our the crazy mastery class does. Okay, so we have a 4 diamond today. Draw a 4 diamond, and straight away above OP, above diamond line, KSI green, above MLP. It's a definite buy for NASDAQ this morning. Okay, so NASDAQ this morning is a definite buy. And now it's holding up, no problem. There's no selling at the moment. So just wait for a while until the market breaks the diamond line, then the selling will begin. But by then it could be a little bit late. But now at least you know that there's two upside here, upside and downside. Now, of course, you can choose the nearer one, or you can take profit and near one. It's up to you. As long as taking profit is definitely your own personal thing, and there's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so that is the Bitcoin. Let's go at Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum wise, we have a very slow start this morning, but the boys are selling, the retailers are selling, but your KCX blinking at this point. So if you want to buy yesterday, you buy somewhere around here. All right, on your own. Okay, today can't buy yet because it's a red color candle. Or if it's above OP, it become a classic buy. But KSI red, so if I ask me, I'll just buy small to medium on this particular trade because so many factors affecting it on the downside. All right, so upside wise, let's take a look. Upside wise, going to see Ethereum, sorry, going out to 3029. That's not so far away. And the downside itself, right? You notice this. All right, I don't have much over here to show to you, but the culture here is that you ban, and that level itself, let me just go into it. Okay. So the low here itself is somewhere at 2773. So this will be the downside technical level that I think Ethereum has to face to trade lower. You trade high, then of course 3029 will be the easy target to go. All right. So guys, but the KSI, the KCX all tell me that it's not advisable to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. So guys, please be very careful. I don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the market. Yeah. Okay, all right, guys. So this morning, I have just summarized to you, very importantly, is that this week, we're going to have a very big week. We have a potential yen intervention, US dollar intervention that will move the market, especially for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So be very careful on that. Do some research on that. Number two is that we have a ongoing expectation that there will be a further upside in the market. Now, I'll bring this to you. I think a long time I never showed this thing, the moment. That is the CNBC fear and greed, yeah, CNN fear and greed index. All right, you can see this investor sentiment. Let's take a look. Okay, just hang on, just a bit off. I mean, I'm using 3G now, my own 3G, not the hotel Wi-Fi. So it's actually about every Zoom cost me about $10 US. Now, the thing is this, for the market right now, we're actually at a neutral ground. It's very interesting and neutral despite ongoing movement here itself in the market. Yeah. So that is why the market still believe that the upside is going to be there. And of course, we also have the, let me just show you the important, what do you call, calendar. Okay, just hang on a little bit. And also, okay, quick one. Just hang on a bit. It's coming up. Oh, yeah, I didn't filter. Okay, never mind. If I filter, take some time. Okay, so basically, we do have some numbers coming in the market. So this week itself, please take note. I'll put the calendar into the respective group. Yeah. Okay, guys. So you heard me. You listened to me. I told you be careful on the market. Please trade with care. You don't want to be caught on the wrong side. And at the moment now, we can see gold coming off a little bit. There's a very strong resistance at the KTR +3. Earlier, I talked to you guys, elite trader, know what to do. Hopefully, you've done what you need to do. Yeah. All right, the market closed here itself, then likely the market will trade down to 5031. So look out for this closing. The market cannot close below the KTR +2. Yeah, cannot close below. Okay, guys, thank you very, very much. Have a great day today. This is Cal signing off. Take care. Bye bye.